Okay, A2 Pure Chapter 2.5 Starter 3, given f of x equals 3 over 2 plus x, sketch y equals f of x and y equals f inverse of x on the same diagram. Then solve f of x equals f inverse of x. This is one of my favourite little questions on this bit of the work because it has a nice little bit of logic in it at the end. So let's begin by sketching the graph. Well, we know that y equals x plus 2 is a straight line going through the y-intercept at 2. When we take its reciprocal, when we do the reciprocal, so y equals 1 over x plus 2, we know that dividing by 0, so when the graph y equals x plus 2 equals 0, we're going to get our asymptote. So our asymptote goes in there at x equals negative 2, and then our graph has our standard reciprocal shape. Okay, multiplying by 3 just stretches it in the y-axis. So if we now sketch that out, there we go, we've got something like that. That's a bit sloppy down the end there. I'll just try and do that again a little bit better. We've got y equal f of x, and this line here equals x minus 2. Okay, now to get the inverse function, because we want it on the same graph, we know we have to reflect the graph in the line y equals x. Right, and if we reflect the graph in the line y equals x, the asymptote will also get reflected. So we're going to get an asymptote in there at y equals minus 2. Yeah, so this point here is negative 2. This point up here was negative 2. And the graph then is going to have the same shape. Okay, so it's going to be coming down, and the other asymptote that we could see was here. So that will get reflected to be an asymptote on the y-axis. So this, our x-axis, which is an asymptote for f of x, gets reflected and becomes the axis, the y-axis as an asymptote as well. And that makes it fairly easy to sketch our graph. So we've got an, undo. So our graph is going to come down like that. And similarly here, it's going to come like that. So that's our graph of y equals f inverse of x. And we're asked to solve f of x equals f inverse of x. So that's where those graphs cross. Yeah? So yeah, this is where the graphs cross, at this point and this point. But there's something nice about those points that helps us. Yeah? At this point, 3 lines cross. 3 lines cross. F of x equals f inverse of x, but it also equals x, because they all have the same y value at that point. So that makes this a lot easier to solve, because this is also equal to x from the diagram. So we get 3 over x plus 2 is equal to x, multiply up, so 3 equals x squared plus 2x, so 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. Can we solve that? Well, it looks like it factorises reasonably nicely. X plus 3, x minus 1, so x equals negative 3, or x equals 1 at the points of intersection. And that fits with the diagram because this first one over here is less than minus 2. Yeah, it's less than minus 2 because it's got to be to the left of this asymptote. And this one had to be greater than 0 as it's to the right of the y-axis.